Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. Today is Sunday. It is the Sunday after Halloween, and I have not taken down my decorations. Technically, it is still Halloween week, and I am not ready. Um, this is one of those situations where, for you, this will seem really sudden, especially because I only uploaded the Halloween video on Tuesday. So obviously you saw my passport traveler's notebook experiment only a couple of days ago. For me, in real time, I did that experiment like a week and a half ago. It's been like 10 or 12 days. So it's not as quick as it seems. Obviously, it's still relatively quick. I work kind of fast, but it's not like as back to back as it will seem for you. This is something that I've been thinking about that has been percolating in my brain for some time. And now I have the unfortunate job of trying to catch you up without seeming totally crazy. Here's where I'm at. I really like the Sterling Ink books. I think they're beautiful quality. I would not hesitate to recommend them. No beef there. The issue I have, or had, is more with the size. I don't think Passport is a size for me. I kind of had a feeling about that. I've tried Passport in the past and it wasn't a size for me. It's just a bit small. And I wasn't really like vibing. The books were not really clicking in the way that I wanted them to. So what I will do is list the 2024 booklet and the blank notebook that I haven't written in my shop, and if anyone in the UK wants them, you can grab them. I'll probably do the same thing with my 2024 weeks that I bought. I've only written 3 pages. So again, what I'll do is trim out those 3 pages really carefully and then list that for like a slightly reduced price probably. Neither of those things are clicking for me. I feel like maybe I should have known, but at the same time, sometimes you just have to give it a go. Obviously, I've had weeks books in the past, and I tried Passport Traveler's Notebook like 2 or so years ago, 3 years ago maybe, and they didn't really click then properly either in the same way, but it's just, I don't know, sometimes you think things have changed with time, and it's just, I don't know. I tried, didn't work. I will rehome those. Here is where I'm at for next year. I will either be in an A5 book next year, or I will be in the A6 books, and I will explain. I will try to explain. But that is where I'm at, is that it's like a hard line now for myself. It's like, okay, I have literally tried everything. I have tried every single size book going, basically. I don't want to try anything brand new at this point. I just don't want to do it. I'm so tired of it, if that makes sense. But I guess the nature of my brain and of being autistic and prone to falling into like bouts of hyperfixation is that I feel like I have to see things through even if I'm not enjoying it anymore. At this point in the year and in my year of experimentation and just like generally coming towards the end of the year, I am almost so sick of trying new things that I'm like, I just need to find like the one and stick with it. And so the hard line that I've now given myself, because I don't think my Traveler's Notebook experiments really panned out. I did really enjoy them, but they're too much work and I don't want to do it. I don't really want to spend all my time drawing out bullet journal stuff either. I know that works for a lot of people and it worked really well for me in the past, but I don't really want to do that now. Now what I want is something easier to maintain. So I will either be in the A5 cousin, the Hon, or I will be in these A6 books, and it's going to be one or the other. I think if I'm going to do the A5, it will be without a companion book. If you've been watching the regular updates, you'll know that the reason I was kind of spinning off into smaller experiments was because I was trying to find like the best like companion for the A5 book. I don't really like using the weekly section in the A5 anymore. I thought I used to, but nowadays it doesn't really fit me. I find it hard to read. Most weeks it ends up very empty because I'm kind of like half-heartedly filling it in, but I'm not really attached to the information that I'm putting there, so it's kind of a weird space for me right now. And I just... Can you hear the depth of my sigh? If you think you're sick of watching this from me, I'm so tired of doing it. Here is where I'm at now though, and I do feel kind of hopeful, which I basically say every week. I'm so tired, but the A6 books, I might have gone full circle, and maybe I've cracked it this time because it's full circle, you know? This is bumming me out. I'm talking and it's making me sad. My eyes are watering. Anyway, I think I might have come full circle, and I think it could work genuinely this time, because the problem with the A5 at this point is that it's a lot to maintain. These pages are big. They are big pages. Obviously it's fine when they're working, but if you have even a couple of days or a week where you fall behind, it becomes very hard to catch up. Obviously I don't really use my pages in a dated way, so it doesn't super matter. My biggest beef with the A5 is just the fact that, first of all, I can't find the companion book that I want for my to-do lists, but more so it's just that I can't find a use for this space. And obviously it's a big chunk of the book, and I literally, like, I can't work out what to do with it all. I didn't really enjoy this. Sleep tracking was too much work in here, it didn't make sense. And then I was kind of keeping half-hearted journal entries, but again, it just wasn't necessary. So they're super empty. I only normally commit to filling out like half of the week, and I don't like it. So it turns out I don't really need that. The interesting thing about potentially coming full circle, and I think that will explain why I don't want to use the A5 Days Free, for example, because I know that doesn't have the weekly section. I don't really want to use a different weekly booklet, because if I'm going to use A5, first of all, I want to use the Black Gingham one, which obviously has the weekly section. But if I don't want the weekly section, then I don't want to use another A5 book, really, because mostly just because this seems to have problem solved that. All of the issues I have. I explained this really succinctly in a Tumblr post the other day. Maybe I'll put it on screen and you can pause it if you want to read it, because I'm so worried I'm not doing it justice right now. But basically, what these books give me is 2 calendars, which is really good now that I'm using my calendar for sleep data. So that's the problem. If I don't have a companion book, I can't have a calendar for both sleep data and to-do lists, or like appointments, that kind of thing. I can't have like a calendar for appointments and events and like scheduling, basically. I can't have a scheduling calendar and a sleep data calendar, because you only get one set of 12 months. The sleep data fits really well in the A5 calendar, so that is kind of a bummer for me to have to consider swapping back out, because I do really like it being there. I think it's the most efficient way for me to collect the data without overthinking it, without having to spend a lot of time drawing up graphs and like tick boxes. The little calendar squares are the perfect amount of room for writing about like how many naps I take, how my sleep was, how much coffee I'm drinking, how much caffeine I'm intaking generally, whether I get sleep paralysis, that kind of thing, whether I have had a visitation from the Hat Man. It's just enough room for what I need for my sleep data, so I really don't want to have to then like switch that back out. Like, that would be so sad for me, because I feel like I've really cracked that, and that's an important part of my documentation, is for my sleep data. I also need a calendar for appointments and scheduling. It's the easiest way for me to know what's going on and how busy my weeks are, is just to be able to look at the whole month. That way I can bear in mind how tired I'll be for different weeks and stuff based on the previous and the following weeks. It's helpful to see it all at a glance so that I can act accordingly. Having it broken up over various pages is not helpful for me. So it's a kind of a thing, is that I need 2 calendars, basically, is what I'm kind of realizing. And these books will allow me to have that. So what I have done is I have picked up just one half of the avec for 2023 so that I can fill it out over the next couple of months and see how I feel. The calendar in here will be for my sleep data. I'm going to backfill it. It does fit. I tested it in an old book. It does just about fit. So what I'll do is keep my sleep data on these pages, and then I'll probably track symptoms on these pages, and that will work in theory. And then I can fill these out like normal with daily journal entries and like cataloguing the films I'm watching and stuff, the things I'm getting up to. It will be some adjustment. It will take some adjustment, because the A5 pages are really big for filling in. It's quite exciting. You can make these really nice big spreads, and you can't do that in the same way in these books. There's just not enough room. So it will take some adjustment. I might miss that, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I will miss it, but it will be an adjustment, if that makes sense. It's like, I think it's something I could learn to not be so sad about. The problem is that this book is like 90% compatible, but there's that one chunk that I'm like, why is this going to waste? And that bothers me. I would rather have a system that is like completely functional than a third of the book that I just ignore. Like, that's weird. and then I picked up the days free. So I've used the avec in the past. I actually completed 2 avecs. I did not know that. Like, I did a full year in the avec. I didn't realize that until I was cleaning the other day, which is how this whole spiral started, by the way. I was cleaning and I found my old books, and then I started looking at them, and then I started thinking, and then everyone was in danger. So I completed 2 of these in the past, and obviously A6 is also the size of the Leuchtturm 1917 books that I filled in the past. So someone on Tumblr suggested that maybe A6 is the way to go anyway, because it's what I've had the most success with, and that could be true. There is something to that, I suppose. I picked up the days free. I've never used the days free before, but it has the calendar. So this way, this one is still like my archive book. It's where I have my journal entries, photos, movies I've been watching, sleep data, all of this stuff that I feel is like important to document long term. And then I still have like a companion book, which is also a commonplace book. And I can have some commonplace stuff in here if I want to, but obviously the space is a lot smaller, so it makes sense to keep it in here. Not only does the days free have an extra calendar, obviously, for my scheduling, but it has margins. It has the little margins, obviously, that you get, the invisible line that you get on these pages. You have that same line. So it has a built-in margin, and it has page numbers. And I was looking at this online, and this is where I was kind of like, oh, I wonder if this is the solution that I needed the whole time. Because I don't have to spend a lot of time using a pencil or another type of pen to draw out margins or grids or whatever. I don't have to worry about numbering my pages. I don't have to worry about overfilling my daily pages because I have these pages. And it's like, it might just work out. Like, this one might work for journaling and documenting like more data-driven stuff and also like little memories. But then this one could be my commonplace book and my planner. And I don't know if that makes sense to everyone, but from all the stuff I've learned this year, like, that kind of feels like it fits for me. I kind of want my journal stuff and my documentation, like my data stuff, to be in one book. And then to me, it makes sense to have my planner and my commonplace book in one somehow, especially because I do only need like that 1 page for my planner. Here's how I've done it. This is for the week starting tomorrow, so there's nothing on it yet really apart from like film a video. But I've just drawn out the days of the week on the left because of the margin, and then I've written my tasks. Down here are my habits at the bottom of the page, so I can see how full my week is, I guess. It feels like it kind of makes sense. And it's just enough room, and I only have to draw 2 lines rather than having to draw out like a whole grid and stuff. So I don't know, it seems like it might be perfect. It might be just enough room. Obviously this calendar doesn't start until December, which is absolutely fine because I think my November is pretty quiet. So I don't really need to schedule anything just yet, and then I can use my phone calendar as a backup in the meantime. But I think it will be nice to have one calendar that is like nicer to look at, maybe with some stickers and obviously scheduling. This one is just a data calendar for the sleep stuff. It's just always very full of words. Similarly, I said I would use the index in the previous book for my sleep data, like my symptoms. This one I can use for more general habit tracking, maybe. Like, I could use them in the same way but for different parts of my life. So there is something kind of nice about that. And I do wonder if maybe I've worked it out. I've obviously been testing in here, filling this out to see how it is. It's really nice to fill. The pages are small, but not that small, and they're big, but not that big. So it's a good amount of space. This is just some journaling stuff with a little spooky guy that I always put everywhere, makes it feel like home. This is a habit tracker I made. You can get these on my Patreon. I'm tracking writing in my books every day. So same index system as always. And then my week, and then this one was a commonplace entry. So this was some excerpts from an article about commonplacing, which is always how I introduce new commonplace books, and it fits really neatly. Obviously this is the source up here, and then some notes in the margin, some thinking about the text in the margin, and then probably stick a picture in under here. So I don't know, you guys, these notebooks, the days free, they have 170 pages, which feels like a very manageable number. I do also then get the favorite sections and stuff, which is nice, could fill those out. So I don't know, I know this probably seems really like abrupt, but might have cracked it by coming full circle, because this was the system, this sort of, that I had when I started the channel back 18 or so months ago. It was 2 books in an A6 cover. Basically, I was using the Avec and the plain notebook. I actually think the Days Free is way superior as a notebook than the blank notebook, depending on your needs, just because the margin and the page numbers are such like a, that's chef's kiss. So, and also the extra calendar to me now is invaluable, turns out. So there we go. I'm gonna film a week with my notebook this week. You know that from the title, but that's how we got here. I know it probably seems really sudden, but I've been thinking a lot, obviously, and I'm desperate to work out my 2024 plans. When I'm in 2024, I don't want to divert. I just want to stick with it. Obviously, using the smaller Avec books also means I don't have to worry as much about bulking, because I can switch out a book at the beginning, in the middle of the year, not the beginning of the year, but I can swap out halfway through, which is great. It also means that I get that like micro win feeling of being able to complete something and put it away. So by using these A6 books, not only do I get 2 calendars and no weeklies, which is ideal at the moment, I can have a commonplace book, planning pages, little journal entries. I can document everything I need to document. I can choose to carry just 1 book or both. So at the moment, they both fit really neatly in this cover. I will have to get a different cover for when they start to fill out, because it's very tight in this. I think the more general A6 covers, the ones that aren't leather and like the compact ones, obviously fit a lot more. I have my manga and I one, and that one fits like a lot more book. But this one is quite a tight squeeze and they're very empty right now, so I'll have to swap this out. But it does mean that I can choose to take 1 book with me, or I can take both books with me, which again is great for like the portability thing, coming back around again to the other issues. It's more portable whether I take both or 1. And I have the option, and that's kind of amazing. But it also means that I don't have 1 big priority book and then 1 smaller, less important book, I guess. Like, it's the companion was always meant to be like the less serious one, but this way I have 2 of like equal value. It's like 2 halves of 1 whole, and that feels nicer somehow. As always, I don't know if that makes any sense. My brain, you know, just fighting for my life against my own brain all the time. But those are my thoughts, and that's where I'm at. I'm gonna show you a full week using these. I'm gonna get a feel for them. I already really like them. They feel like they're clicking in that way that you hope a new book or a new system will click. It does just feel right this time. As I say, the only thing is adjusting to these littler daily pages, but I think it'll be okay. I used to fill these out. I have some. I used to fill these out in a cute way, so I think it should be fine. So this one is not complete, but I did fill out a good chunk of it. This one is completely full, and it's cute, dare I say. The calendars especially, that was like cute use of space. They're really cute. I can't stop saying cute. That is kind of how I would use the calendar in the Days Free, is kind of scheduling and some stickers. Probably not as much stickers as this, but a little. It's nice to have that somewhere. These are all really sweet to look back on, because I like the way I decorated them. They look kind of nice still. I don't normally feel that way when I look back at old books, but this one is pretty good. Friday the 13th. And then I did fill all of the daily pages in this one. A lot of it's just words and soup. I think this is the book I was in when I first started the channel back, potentially. Some songs I was listening to. Is that my birthday? Yeah. A lot of cinema tickets in this one, actually. That surprised me. I have like 4 or 5 cinema tickets. Stonehenge. So I guess my point showing you this is that I can fill this nicely. Like, these are nice. There is a way to use this book in a way that is nice to look at and can fit lots of things stuck in. It'll just be readjusting to decorating like a smaller space rather than the A5, which has like so much like room for like layering and stuff. Adjustment, it's always an adjustment, but like this is cute, you know, like there's room for potential here, so I'm not too worried. I'm mostly saying this for myself, but that's kind of the hope, is that this will become this again in this really sweet way that has like a lot of different bits documented. It's almost good because it will force me to almost prioritize what it is I want to document, rather than in my A5 book where I just like haphazardly stick a lot in. Not that that's bad, it's been a lot of fun, but it does mean that I'll have to pick a photograph from a day rather than just layering up like 5 or 6 of them, and maybe that will be a good thing. I really like how these A5 pages book, but again, I don't need the weekly section, and I do kind of need 2 calendars. So I don't know, as someone with ever-evolving horrors and symptoms and needs and stuff, it seems like maybe this will be the better choice for maintenance long-term in 2024. Obviously, the smaller space does also make it easier to maintain. So I don't have to sit down and spend half an hour filling 1 page of this and like doing like 4 or 5 at a time, and then having to go back and fill the calendar, and then also trying to fill the weekly pages. Like, it becomes a whole evening activity. Normally in an evening I do try to like watch TV with my dad and stuff, like because we work all day, we try to spend time together in the evening just to like both relax and stop working. But recently this takes so much upkeep that I have to do a lot of book work in the evening, which is nice because it's my hobby and I love it, but some evenings I wish that I could watch TV without knowing I'm then falling behind, if that makes sense. And again, you can work at your own pace, it doesn't have to be seen as like falling behind, but it does feel that way. And I don't know, it's nice to think that this might be easier and quicker to maintain, because these little pages, you can fill them out in 10 or 15 minutes, which is very effortless, especially if you stick a photo in. I have a photo that I'll stick in from yesterday, and it will take up, you know, like a good chunk of the page. Here's one I prepared earlier. So it takes up, you know, a decent amount of room, and then I only have to fill the gap around it. So if I've been busy, I can capture the thoughts and the feelings from the day with the photo, do you know what I mean? Which is what I always try to do anyway. And then the writing doesn't have to be so extreme, I guess, because sometimes when I'm writing in my cousin, I've written what I want to say, but there's still so much of the page left that I find myself like looking for words, and then it's just kind of rambly and stream of consciousness, and it's not really making as much sense as it should. So I think this amount of space might be better in some ways because it's less of a distraction, and I can still make cool videos where I decorate like double pages and stuff, because I can do that across 2 pages in the days free, where there's a bit more room to work with, a bit more room to decorate and write and stuff. Obviously the layout of the avec means that you lose some space, but there's a bit more in this section, so it's like, I think it could work. Does that make sense? Does any of it make sense? I'm not sure if you all think I'm absolutely mad at this point, but maybe cracked it this time by going full circle. We'll see. I'll show you throughout the week. I'll obviously backfill maybe some of this to see how it looks, to see how I can get it to look. And then maybe. I made this just now, you watched that for the intro. I thought it could be like a dashboard for the back of the book, because the day free books, everyone's nemesis, this light lemon yellow, is like not the one. I'm happy for you if you're a yellow person, and I'm so sorry for everyone else like me, because like it's my nightmare. That is the only downside. I did also buy some black craft paper, so if I want to cover these up I can, but today I thought I would experiment with making a little dashboard type deal. Maybe to paperclip onto the back or something as like a little divider. Obviously with it being in a cover, it's not too much of a worry because it's mostly covered up. The problem with using the A5 avec previously as like I never did, but as a theory, I was thinking like I prefer to have my A5 books just in a plastic cover on cover, not in like the hobonichi covers, because it's so much bulk then for an A5 book, and they're already pretty unwieldy. But to have it in another external cover was huge. So if I had used the avec, it would have been like very yellow, like that's so much yellow. Luckily the A6s are so little that it's not too in your face. It's kind of a bit more mellowed out because they're smaller. I think the days free is kind of nice. This blue, this like soft dark blue and the cream is not that offensive. It's okay, I can live with that. So I thought maybe if I made a dashboard for this side, then it might not feel so bad. And then I don't have to worry about covering one or both books up. So we'll see, but those are the thoughts. Again, I'm sorry this must seem so abrupt for you, but I mean, either way now, next year it's going to be one of these 2. I'm done. Like, I'm so done. I'm so tired of it. Obviously, if you're in the UK and you're interested in picking up the week's book I had, or the little Sterling ink books if you want to test them without paying the American shipping, they're there. Because I know that they're not working for me and I need to stop. I need to be stopped. It'll be one of these 2, either way. But we'll have to wait and see which one I think fits yeah. Okay, on with the week. So I didn't film yesterday because I was downstairs most of the day with Wednesday, but I did fill quite a bit of this, not like a lot, but you know, I did a bit, and I think it's pulling together really well. I will show you. I backlogged some of October and I think it looks pretty good. It makes me feel a lot better about the whole thing I was saying on Sunday about not knowing if I can translate my spreads across, I guess. And feeling kind of sad about the loss of being able to layer things in the A5 space. I did a spread for Halloween and I think it looks really good. So this is when I got coffee with a friend, watching a film, and then for Halloween weekend, well, it wasn't a weekend, was it? It was a Tuesday, but you know what I mean. I did layer it and I think it looks really good. This page alone makes me feel 100 times better about this plan. It makes me feel 100 times less like I'm losing my mind slightly. I think it looks really nice. I think you get enough of a feeling for the mood without it being like really full and having to write a lot. So I think things might work out fine. I have my skull pizzas that I talked about and I put a little cutout of my baking tray, obviously my stickers, and I think it looks really cute. I also copied this one over from this book, this one, because I liked that, so I did the same thing again, and it does fit, it's just in a smaller space. But all things considered, I think it's going fine. Again, I copied this one over from the bigger book as well, and I think it looks nice. And it is a lot less stressful to have to fill up such a small space compared to the bigger space. I think I'm really happy with it. Obviously my nails, and then I did go back through and stick some other bits into just some other little pictures, so I can try and at least backfill the whole of October, which shouldn't be too hard because October was complete in my A5. I just need to print some more photos. So it is going good. I really like it. This is yesterday. Obviously I'm up to date. In my day 3, so my commonplace book, you saw these little bits, and now I have some little bits here. I stuck a photo in like I said I would, and then just a little one. I haven't written in this one because I've been filling this one, but today I printed out some new sketchbook work because yesterday as well I was working on a couple of new pages for my Everyday Gloom zine, if anyone remembers that. I've been working on it for a long time. I printed 2 of each, so we don't really need both. But I want to see if I can make these work in these smaller books, which will be like, I guess, the final test if I can make things work. I did try printing the sketchbook pages smaller, but they then get too small. It's like kind of illegible. I don't necessarily need to be able to read the text, but obviously with the smaller it gets, the worse my print quality gets because it's just a normal home printer. So I think what I'll have to do with these pages is stick them across 2 pages. Potentially, something like that. I don't really love folding a page so that it's a flap. I don't love that. Normally what I would do is stick the majority on one side and then have a little bit overlap and then fill the text around it or something, or maybe put it in the middle so it's more interesting. But then you have lots of these little awkward spaces and that's not really ideal. So I guess that'll be the test today. I'll film it and we'll see what happens. Same problem for this one. Obviously they're the same size, I guess. It's gonna have to go across 2, and it does fit in this space under here. I don't know how to call that, but it does fit there. I normally try to line things up so that they're in the first square, and it fits perfectly. If you can see, there's 1 square above, 1 square below, and I like that. I try not to overlap too much on the bottom, so it is kind of perfect somehow by accident. But it will have to go over 2 pages. So if I wanted to stick it in this book, because I'm on a right hand side page, obviously it's not going to fit. will hang off. If I was on this day I could put it here, but that's not the day I'm on, so it would maybe have to go on this side, and then obviously I would lose the page for the day, so I might not stick them in here this time. I might just do it in my commonplace book and then do those ones as and when they fit. It's not that deep. The books work together to make one archive system, so it's not a big deal. But we shall see. But it is working. I'm feeling better than Sunday, and I was already feeling pretty good, so it's a good update. The only thing is that in this book, the gutter in the middle makes it kind of hard sometimes. I could use a traveler's clip and try that way. It just makes it kind of hard to stick across pages, but then it's uneven, so it's like, I don't know. I'm using a glue stick again just to make things a bit easier. I can peel things back up easier. The adhesive tape is okay, but it runs out very fast. It's hard to get refills. It's a lot of plastic waste every time you have to get a refill, because like almost half of the, like the whole front portion basically comes off and you throw it away, and then you get a new refill replacement portion. Don't love that. I would rather have a glue stick. It lasts me a lot longer. I don't know if I'm talking on purpose right now. I'm kind of just thinking out loud, but I'm using the stickier version of the glue stick I was using previously. I had the yellow one before, the orange one, which was like wrinkle free. This one is meant to be the one that's stickier. Obviously I was having trouble with them all peeling back up, so I just thought maybe a stickier glue would be better. Also because in my previous avec books, sometimes the adhesive on tape eats through the page over time. I'm sure someone with more technical experience can explain why that happens, but you can see the line of glue come through the page on the other side. It doesn't completely eat through the page, but it becomes a dark line, and I don't love that either. So, I don't know. I might put this one here next to this little stick out. I don't know. It could also go sideways. It does fit just about. But I don't really like to stick things in sideways that much, so ooh. Maybe this one looks kind of good there. Might do that. Okay. Okay. Nervous. So I didn't really do anything yesterday because I was running errands, but I did do some commonplacing on Tuesday evening, and in the end I did also stick one of the sketchbook pages across like yesterday and today's spread. Because I knew I'd be running errands, I didn't mind losing this page so much, and obviously I still have room to write on this side. Not much else has changed in this short space of time, but I'm gonna do some sticking in of bits today. I have some stuff to trim out. And then I have stuff to do later this evening, which is quite stressful. So I'm kind of like on a time constraint today, but I do want to do some stuff this afternoon. Starting with these. It's Friday today and I stuck in a picture of the book I've been reading. I just hit 50% on the Kindle app, and I've been highlighting quite a lot. It's a book I've been really taking my time with. I've been reading it for like 2 months already, I think. I really just read like a chapter here and there, and then I kind of like digest it, I guess, kind of like obnoxiously slowly. It's a book about like memory and loss, and I guess kind of about not when a house is haunted, but when a house is haunting you, if that makes sense. It's all in relation to like the childhood home of the author and stuff, and I think it's interesting. It's something that resonates with me, so when I'm reading it, it's like it's a lot for me to process, I guess. It's really good. I'd really recommend it. It's called In the Dark Room, and it's by Brian Dillon, who is a fantastic writer anyway, but it's a lot, but it's really good. I have a quote here as well that I found online from the same book. I mean, I've read the quote, but I found a screenshot of it. And then if you go onto the Kindle app, like on the phone or the iPad or whatever, you can click on your annotations, and then what I'll do is when I'm reading, I highlight a lot. I highlight a lot more for non-fiction than fiction, so especially because the kind of fiction I read is not really, I don't know, I don't like highlighting like drama or anything, I guess, so I highlight stuff that resonates more than anything else. So normally when I'm reading like silly fantasy fiction, I'm having a really good time and it's really fun, but I don't highlight stuff. But when I'm reading non-fiction, because of the types of non-fiction I prefer, I highlight a lot. So I highlighted a lot so far for the 50%, not too much I guess, but a fair bit. And what I'll do probably is choose some of my favourites to squeeze in these edges. I might do a couple of pages. It's one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know if I'll film it because I think it's probably really boring for you to watch me writing for a long time. I'm never really sure if that's appealing content. Would love some guidance. I normally like do that thing where I like speed it up, so I start writing on one line and then it drops to the bottom because I just think it's long, innit, to watch someone writing a full page. So I might not film it. I've shown you these bits and I don't know if I will actually film me filling it up. What I do want to show you, I got those Midori index clips that everyone gets. They appeal to me because they seem to look really neat when I see other people using them. A lot of index clips can be quite heavy, and they can be quite damaging for the edge of the pages and stuff when you knock them. These ones are supposed to be like super thin and super light, and very compact, so I picked some up and I was thinking I might add them to my book so that I can differentiate between the calendars and the daily sections, I guess. Open it quickly. Yeah, I do see, oh my god, you get a lot. I thought you just get 3 or 4. I didn't realize there would be so many inside. That's honestly, oh, it does say 8, but I guess I can't read. Okay, cool. They are like really thin. That's kind of satisfying. I don't know where I want to put them. I guess normally I would put things on the top rather than the edges. I'm more of a top person, I guess. I guess because I normally have my pen on the side, so I don't know. I guess what I want to do is just put it sort of on December. Is that needed? I just think it's kind of nice because it makes it a bit easier to flip back, especially once you get so deep into certain books. Oh my god, I'm nervous. Okay. The hobonichi pages are so thin, it does feel nerve-wracking to me trying to put clips on them because I'm like, one slip and you've torn the page in half. I can cover up Sunday because I think I know that Sunday comes after Saturday. Okay. Okay, she's cute. They are really compact. That is wild. Do you see her? That is so small. Okay, nice. It worked. And then I guess I'll do my daily pages. I wonder if I might choose like a favorite, like maybe this one from yesterday, and I can put the tab there. I don't really need it to be at the beginning. But just somewhere near where I'm working, so I might put it somewhere along here. I guess I want to do it in such a way where they line up neatly. So maybe I'll do it like further in. Again, I'm so nervous, like for no reason. I guess I took to these books in such like a good way, such a quick way. I feel very attached to them already. Like, I don't know if you can tell that from the video. It's one of those ones where I'm like, I thought I felt really solidly about the video, and then I've been working on it now all week for so long that I'm like, is this good? Like, TM, is this good content? I've been having a really good time. I don't know if that's obvious or not. I can't get this on the page. And I've really taken to the books, and I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are too. Okay, did it. They are kind of fiddly because they're so small, I will say that. Let's check it against the calendar. Okay, not bad. Yeah, I took to these books quicker than I expected to. I think when I was doing that recording segment on Sunday, when I was explaining like for like 25 minutes the whole process, I was really nervous in some parts about how well I thought I could translate my new way, not new, but like this year as a whole. I feel like I really refined how I work in my books. I feel like while I was doing all that learning, I did just really refine my system. I really built up the habit and I maintained it. Even though I kept changing books, the habit was maintained for the whole year. And I guess I didn't really think about that until now. So I was really worried about trying to translate that way of working into the A6 books, but it was a lot easier than I gave myself credit for, I guess, or that I thought it would be. It's really been no sweat at all, and I think the pages are really cute, so I'm like not stressed about that anymore. This really does feel perfect. Like, it's, I don't know, it just feels really good. I might move this down a bit so that it's more over the book. Yeah, I was really worried when I was first putting it all together, but now I'm like, oh, actually everything is literally fine. Like, it's better than fine, really. Because then it would be further along. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I'll leave it there for now. I think it's fine. I guess I will put some in my daily book as well. And again, the nice thing about these books is that you can take them in and out of the cover so easily without damaging the books. When I was working in the passport for the brief time that I did, every time I had to put a book in and out, the string was really ripping up the edges. It was really catching it. And I don't know if maybe the shorter string, the one that's more on the inside, will loosen with time in a passport notebook. But I didn't have as big a problem with my standard size traveler's notebook. I feel like that wasn't so tight, I guess. And again, it could be something that would loosen up with time, but it was a bit stressful. And then if you write with it inside the passport cover, I found that compared to the standard size, you could feel the lumps and the bumps a lot more with the passport size. In my standard size one, I didn't find that the string on the back or anything was an issue, but for the passport one, it was really annoying. So that did kind of suck. I guess for this book, I will maybe put it for November. And then I'll put one on the calendar as well. And then I will decide what I'm filming for the rest of this. But I should stop talking because I think I've talked way too much this week. I'll put it on here. Yeah. Maybe further in. I don't know. The nice thing is that they are easy to move. They're not like tight, but they're not loose either. So it doesn't feel like they're gonna fall off, but it also doesn't feel like I'm gonna destroy the page trying to pick them back up, if that makes sense. I think most people have used these by now, but I just haven't yet. I've been meaning to pick them up for a long time. This is my very small sleep log for November. I haven't worked out how to try and do my symptoms yet. I haven't done that yet. I guess maybe I could do that this afternoon, but I feel like it's something that feels too high pressure to do on camera. My Ian Curtis collage from the beginning of the week is just tucked in there. I still haven't decided where I want to put it. I guess I'll quickly say, I think it could be really fun if I do want more space to do collage type stuff. I could make a little page like this. Like, if I'm missing that A5 way of working at any point, I could just layer up a little thing, partly digitally, like I did for here, and then I could just glue it in somewhere or use it as like a bookmark or a page divider. If you laminated it or something, or used a thicker card, it could be a really nice little divider. So I don't know if I'm going to use this for what I originally intended it for covering the book, but I had a lot of fun making it, and I might make more. It was like an unexpectedly fun little side project, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. He's just slotted in there, and every time I see it, I'm like, wow, that was good. I enjoyed that. But I think I'm gonna put this one on the Friday. Yeah. Oh my god, stop. Every time I see that little crinkle of the page, I'm like, you better not. Okay. We did it with minimal damage. Oh, see, they're so compact. It's so cool. Everyone was right. Midori making yet another fantastic product. Okay, sick. Yesterday I filled out my little daily page here. I have some notes to add about what I got up to in the evening, which will fit in this little gap, which is fine. And then later on today I'll fill out my daily page for today, which I think will be just text. I don't want to stick too much in, although it doesn't matter because it's not really bulking, which is great. So we'll see. I will do this again. I don't know if I'll film it. I just think it's kind of boring. What I might do is work on it quietly and then come back in a minute and show you, I guess, the full flip through from the last few days, or I could do that now. I don't know. I will say it's really obvious that I was previously using the crinkle free glue and I no longer am, because I guess it was really working, because my pages are a lot more wrinkled and they weren't before. So I guess their wrinkle free glue is really good, because now I definitely have some wrinkles. They're not bad, but they exist. I do think it's stickier though, potentially. Once I double stick the corners, which I tend to have to do, they do then like really take, so I think it is also stickier, so I do rate it as a glue brand. I think I might put this one really far inside the, yeah. Oh, it looks cute with the, okay, cool. And now it's not in my way as much either when I'm writing. Sick. Okay, I'm gonna fill this out and stop talking, and then I will come back at the end and do a big flip through of everything I got done this week. When I was looking back at the footage, I feel like it doesn't really show that much, but hopefully you guys disagree. It's just that thing, I think, where I've been working on it so long myself that I'm like, this is so uninteresting. But for you guys, obviously, maybe not, because you haven't seen it yet. Okay everyone, and there we have it. Avec chapter 2 electric boogaloo, I guess. I might call the video that, actually, that's kind of funny. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really long and I'm sorry for those of you who don't really like long videos. I am slightly nervous about uploading another hour-long video, especially because the first one was only last week, but I hope you liked it. It was pretty organic because it was like the first full day in my avec and then like a full week, the first full week. So I don't know, I'm having the best time. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I'm interested. Let me know if you think it'll work, if I'll stick it out, if I won't stick it out. If you're disappointed, I guess, I don't know. But I'm excited. Hopefully this can be the end of all the chaos. Next year I would really like to focus more on doing illustration stuff, obviously. I had a lot of fun this year with the experimentation, but obviously it was very distracting. It was very like consuming. I didn't get to do a lot else because I was so fixated on trying to work out my notebooks. It became like a full-time job in itself. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that next year. These are definitely a lot easier to maintain than the A5. So I'm really hoping they'll work long term, and then they can just be something that I upkeep in the way that I'm meant to, I guess, in the way that helps me, something to help me maintain myself, I guess. So they become a part of my practice and not my whole practice, because that's not the point. They're meant to be little books that add to my life, not consume it entirely. So I guess that's the thing to remember at this point. And I'm hoping I've cracked it. I'm hoping I've cracked it. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick ending, I guess, an outro, because it was a bit abrupt, but I hope you like it, and I will see you next week, probably for Attic Archives.